Hi everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I'll be giving you some information on some companies who have adopted design thinking and their success stories. So, for those of you who don't know what design thinking is, I've taken a couple of videos on what design thinking is, and you can click on the links that I've provided in the description box to access those videos. And for those of you who know about design thinking and wondering whether it's really worth adopting design thinking innovation frameworks to your product management, then here is some success stories that would inspire and motivate you and would give you an idea of how companies and organizations are benefiting out of this innovation and problem solving framework. So without any delay, let's get into it. So, the very first organization is, as we all know, the well known Airbnb. So, initially, when the company was in the startup phase, they had a concern. And this concern was once they had launched their business, they were just making around $200 a week. So, this really concerned the founders and they wanted to understand what was the real root cause of it. So they incorporated this design thinking into their process. And if you see in the analysis and discovery phase, what they understood was they first empathized with customers who wanted to rent out their properties. And after empathizing, so empathy is just the first stage of design thinking, very important. Most of us, we overlook this stage, but it's really important. So they empathized with their customers and they traveled around also to see what customers would look for when they rent rooms. So by doing this, they were able to understand what are the main concerns of customers who want to rent out properties and rooms, and what do they look for, what are their main concerns, and what are their needs, and other nuances to it. So, after the discovery, what they identified was the main problem was that advertising pictures posted online weren't of a high quality. So, usually when some most of all of us, when we want to kind of book something or rent out something, especially if it's a room, a resort, or a property, we would look for certain aspects and then make a decision whether it's worth investing or not. So when it comes to property, the pictures are really important, because if no one is going to come to the property and see the place and then give their go. So they are going to see the property based on what's portrayed and what's exposed to them via the online portals. So they came to know that the advertising pictures posted online weren't of high quality, and this made customers really reluctant to rent out rooms. So after a process, many processes of ideation, they came up with the idea of investing in a high quality camera. And instead of just listing and jotting out as a description what are the different facilities that the property has, they said customer, they were under the hypothesis like, if they give out and put out high quality pictures of rooms, facilities, nearest places, attractions, etc., people would be able to have a better idea of what the property is and what the property holds, so that they would be able to make the right decision when renting out these properties. And after implementing that, they had seen a drastic change, which was a week later, Airbnb's revenue doubled. So if you see, the model that they followed was they were not very much interested in expanding their business or scaling up their audience, stuff like that. They just wanted to improve the way that they delivered their business. So customer satisfaction was really important. So they never focused on trying to gain more customers, they focused on what was the root problem rather than scalability. So this is one such example. The second one, another interesting story is GE Healthcare. It's from the healthcare domain. And if you see their concern, the diagnostic imaging has, of course, revolutionized the healthcare domain. But if you see the GE Healthcare organization, they seen the specific problem in how pediatric patients reacted to procedures. So when they did a discovery and analysis, again part of the design thinking, again they try to empathize with these pediatric patients. And they found out and seen that many children were observed crying during long procedures in cold, dark rooms with flickering fluorescent lights. Totally an unpleasant experience for little children and toddlers. So they wanted to address this issue, and they defined the problem was totally an unpleasant experience children have during these procedures. So the after many phases of again ideation and prototypes and stuff like that, they came up with this super amazing solution, which is it's called as the Pirate Adventure, which transforms MRI machines from dark black holes to pirate ships with sceneries of beaches and sand castles and the ocean, much more kids friendly. So if you see over here, it enhanced the experience of a particular persona. Here the persona was a child, and it made that particular service much more creative, fun, experienced, and it also increased, not only making it creative and fun, it also increased the patient satisfaction scores by 90%. So they found that kids were less cranky, and they were abiding to the procedures. And the success also, another success was the improved scan quality of pediatric patients, which ultimately saved customers time as well as resources. So time is saved on one hand, as well as customers satisfied, resources are also kind of optimized and efficient. So if you see, the GE Healthcare's model was they improved the customer experience for a product with no problem. So they never had any problem with their diagnostics. It was totally fine, worked perfect. But they identified that for a particular persona, in this case kids, pediatric patients, they had an unpleasant experience. And by focusing on that particular issue and using design thinking, they were able to empathize and come up with a much more valuable solution that enhanced the experience as well as brought much more value to the end users. So that's about GE Healthcare. The second one is the well-known product that we know out there is Netflix. And the scenario they were facing was not, I can see a scenario. The current situation was during the company's inception, its main competitor, okay, Blockbuster, required customers to drive to brick and mortar stores to rent DVDs. That's what happened way back few years ago. And they actually analyzed that particular situation, analyzed the ecosystem and the landscape they were in, and seen that the process of purchasing and for returns was a major pain point for many. Okay, and also the wait time was long sometimes, so you need to go to the physical store, purchase DVDs, again go and return it back. Sometimes the DVD that you were looking for wasn't available, so you had to wait till it returned back to the store. So a lot of pain points surrounding the end users. So they kind of foresee this particular situation, and they came up with the solution. The result was they created an on demand streaming service to stay ahead of the curve. So, this is a model where they foreseen the future, and given whatever was at hand, they took that pain point and converted to an opportunity, and they responded to the customer's needs. So again, in way back in 2011, they got feedback for proactive content. And in 2016, they improved its user experience by adding short trailers to its interface. So they kind of iterate all these ideas and ideations, and then they build prototypes and see whether customers are satisfied with it, and then they deliver the right solution that is exactly what customers need, okay, rather than what they feel customers would need. So this is another story. Another one is Oral B. So the requirement was so when Oral B way then wanted to upgrade its electric toothbrush, it enlisted designers like Kim Corlin and Sam Hitch to help. So the company, okay, keep in mind over here, the company's request was to add more functions to electric toothbrush users, such as tracking brushing frequency, observing gum sensitivity, and playing music. So these were some features that was recommended and proposed by the company. And when these two designers, they did an analysis and discovery adopting the same design thinking framework, They pointed out that brushing teeth was sometimes a neurotic act for many people, and it could be sometimes more stressful when you add features more on top of each other. So, what was their recommended solution was that make the toothbrush easier to charge, especially while users were on the road. Okay, that was their proposed solution after doing a lot of ideation and background analysis and desk research and field research and stuff like that. And the second one is to make it more convenient for users to order replacement heads by allowing toothbrushes to connect to phones and send reminder notifications. So these two were the ones that they analyzed. They, you know, tested it out with customers, got positive feedbacks, and then they proposed that this should be the solution. So this was very much accepted by the users. It boosted the sales as well as the customer satisfaction, and adoption was much more greater. So, if you see this kind of an approach as design thinking, we said that it's totally revolving around user, it's user centric, user focused. They focused on what the user needed rather not focusing on what the company thought the user would want. So, this is another key characteristic of design thinking. You don't develop things that you feel customers would need, but rather you get down to the ground, do your groundwork, understand what really customers need, and then you kind of incorporate it and then deliver that solution. And it doesn't stop there, it's an iterative process again. So even after delivering the solution, you might get feedbacks, and designers, experienced designers, kind of use that to enhance the experience in future and improvise the product. So that's how it works. So apart from this, there are other companies also have adopted design thinking, and large successes out there. You get to know so many success stories, and businesses now they're kind of incorporating this kind of a framework into their processes because it's much more um, valuable. You get to first test out your hypothesis before delivering, putting in so much of time, effort, and resources into building that big chunk of a feature or product, and then taking it out with uncertainty whether customers are going to really appreciate what's being done or whether it's really going to solve their problems. So this level of uncertainty can be kind of reduced when you incorporate these design thinking approaches, and definitely it would be really valuable for the team. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. So I hope you got some inspiration how companies have used this design thinking for their processes and how it's helped their business grow and scale and also improve the experience of customers. So if you like this video, please do give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe for more business analyst materials and stuff, and also do share your feedbacks. Thank you.